What's going on, y'all? Riley here, and today we're going to take a look at my manga and manga related haul for the month of January and I believe the latter half of December. So stay tuned. Alright, so like I said, we're looking at everything from January as well as the latter half of December. It's been a little while since I did a haul video. I just kind of got caught up with some stuff with holidays and New Year's and all that good stuff and just work being busy. But here we are. We're going to run through everything that was from basically the last 2 months, I guess. A lot of cool stuff and a couple of non-manga things that are going to be fun to look at as well. So we'll do the non-manga items first and then go into the actual manga. If you hear any clicks or clacks in the background, my wife is downstairs playing Rocket League. What's going on?
Hello.
So she says hi, she sends her regards. She's just playing Rocket League with the sound off at the moment. Anyway, let's get started. So I have, I don't usually get any sort of anime or anything like that, but a recent release happened that I was extremely excited about, and that is, of course, Satoshi Kon's Paranoia Agent finally getting re-released and finally getting a Blu-ray release. This is a series that I absolutely loved back when it first aired on Adult Swim back in the day, and of course it's from the late Satoshi Kon, who is a genius of the medium, so it was really awesome to see that Funimation was finally going to be re-releasing this and in Blu-ray format. I need to rewatch this soon because it has been, gosh, probably over a decade, I guess, since I've last watched it, and I'm sure that I'll have a new appreciation for this piece. But for anyone who's ever wondered what anime are some of my favorite anime, as someone who is mostly a manga reader and not really an anime watcher, Paranoia Agent has been up there on my list for a while. Now, the other non-manga item that I've got is something really cool. My wife and I recently got her record player set up. It had been in the closet since we moved into this house. And with that, we started to kind of go around some used bookstores to look at records, and we went to a couple of record shops. And at one of them, the first thing that caught her eye, actually, I think she pointed it out to me, was that they had the Cowboy Bebop vinyl. So this set, I grabbed it immediately, and it is so awesome. Just giving a quick look at the front and the back and the interior, and then the actual records themselves. They also have the sleeves, but the actual records themselves are a really awesome looking marble. So I'm gonna just try to carefully show that. The second, so side C and side B are on a purple marble vinyl, and then the other one is on a red marble vinyl. I'll show the front and back of that sleeve. So it's not, obviously not the complete tracks of the, that were in the anime. There's, you know, like a ton of different music from the anime. So this only covers a small cross section of some of the, I guess, greatest hits, some of the most well-known tracks from that series. Cowboy Bebop is another favorite of mine as far as anime goes, so I'm super excited to have this. I love the music. I used to jam to the soundtracks back when I was in like middle school and high school. I would listen to the Cowboy Bebop soundtracks while I was doing homework and studying and stuff like that. So it's really nice and really nostalgic item and something I'm really happy to have in my collection. Now, with those two things out of the way, let's look at the manga. I'm going to start, and I've divided this up by publisher. So I'm going to start with some of the smaller publishers that I only have a few items from, and then work my way over to the larger publisher, which I have very much the most from Viz this time. All right, so starting off from 7 Seas, we have the volume 15-16 of High Rise Invasion. This series is getting an anime, or has gotten an anime adaptation, so I'm sure that there's going to be some more attention paid to this series in the near future. I really enjoy this one. It's a fun, fast-paced kind of horror at times, kind of a terror type thing. If you haven't tried it out, if you know you are into horror manga, this can kind of tickle that urge for something like that. But I guess at this point, I think the anime is going to hit one of the streaming services, maybe Netflix. So try it out there. That's always a good tactic is just to try the anime first before you decide to buy any of these. I think there's only 3 more of these collections left. 3 more, because I think it was 22 volumes total, or 21 volumes. So we should have one for, yeah, like 3 more, something like that. So it's getting close to the end. Then I've got another 1 volume from Dark Horse. We've got Mob Psycho 100 Regan. This is the spin-off volume focusing on that character from the series. If you enjoy the ongoing series, then you're definitely going to find, you know, you're going to find this fun as well. It's not entirely related. You don't need it. If you just want to focus on the main Mob Psycho 100 series, you don't need the little spin-off volume, but it's always nice to have extra material when it's something that you enjoy. And speaking of Dark Horse manga, I did a recent video, if you haven't seen it yet, where I talk about the Dark Horse hardcover editions and which Dark Horse published series that I would like to see get those hardcover editions in the future. I'm going to put a link to that video down below just in case you haven't seen it, so check that one out. It is an awesome video. I'm really happy with the way it came out. I've got a couple books from Yen Press. So the first one is volume 6 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. This is a fun series, beautiful animation, or beautiful illustration. I know the anime is also known for having beautiful animation, and the manga is no different as far as the art style goes. So this is a fun series, good stuff there. And then one that I really look forward to reading whenever new volumes come out, and that is Delicious in Dungeon. I have a review video for the first 8 volumes, and this one was another really great installment. It's a fantasy kind of mixed with cooking series, so a lot of fun there if you're into like fantasy, like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff. This one is really great for that kind of series. And then I've got 1 volume from Square Enix, and that is High Score Girl Volume 5. So we're halfway through this nice kind of adolescent love story between a couple kids who love playing video games during the 90s when the arcades were flooded with stuff like Street Fighter and stuff like that. So if you grew up in the 90s, especially if you grew up in the early 90s and you're familiar with Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, maybe Virtua Fighter and stuff like that, then you'll have a lot of fun little just bits of nostalgia that you'll find in these books. I believe the anime on this one is also available streaming, I think, on Netflix. I've heard some good things about the anime adaptation, but y'all who know me know that I stick to the source material with that manga. Next, we've got a couple of books from Kodansha. I'm surprised I only have a couple Kodansha books. Usually there's more. This is another fantasy mixed with cooking series, and that's Drifting Dragons. This one has really great artwork. It's a fun adventure fantasy series, but like I said, it is mixed with the cooking aspects as well. So throughout the book, you'll see them use different meats and stuff to make different dishes. I was reading this book and I showed my wife they had a recipe for a Cuban sandwich. Just in the book, it was using dragon meat, which I thought was funny because last week my wife made Cuban sandwiches, which were just beyond delicious. So it was very fun to kind of see something mirror my actual life in the books that I was reading. And then To Your Eternity, this is another series that I did a review on not too long ago. I did a review about the whole first part, like the first major arc, which was volumes 1 through 12. We finally have volume 13 out now, and this starts the next major part of the series. I love To Your Eternity. This one was also on my top 10 favorite ongoing manga video. So if you haven't seen that one, I'll try and get a link down below so you can check that out and get a little bit of information about why I love this series so much. But this is a good place to get into the series because you get to, if you were to grab all 13 volumes, you get to wrap up that first major part and then start with the second major part, which this is a good volume as well. It's, you know, very intriguing, the directions that they're going with this, and I can't wait to see what happens in volume 14. Now we get into the Viz Media stuff, and I'm going to start with a smaller volume, so we're going to look at a bunch of Shonen Jump stuff right now. I'm going to say real quick, if there are spoilers on any of these covers, just beware of that. I'm not sure if there's spoilers because a lot of people would consider spoilers different than what I do since I don't watch the anime adaptations. So just keep that in mind as I'm going through a bunch of these Viz Media and Shonen Jump titles. First off, we've got Promised Neverland Volume 18. This is fast approaching the conclusion. I think there's 20 volumes total, so just a couple more volumes left before Promised Neverland comes to its end, and I'm really excited. I'm currently reading this volume, actually, and it is a great volume with a lot of action and great developments towards the plot and stuff. This is a fun series, and I'm excited to see how it ends, but I'm also, at the same time, you know, that's that bittersweet moment where it's fun to see this series that you enjoy end, but it's also sad because you no longer get to read new volumes. The next few volumes are Shonen Jump ones that I haven't read yet, but I should be getting to these hopefully tonight and tomorrow. We've got volume 24 of Black Clover, another popular Shonen Jump series. Great action, great illustrations and stuff in here. I have a lot of fun with this one. I know there was a big announcement that the first part, I guess, of the anime was going to be wrapping up soon. And I'm guessing they're going to give a break on that series so they don't have to do a bunch of filler material, which, you know, who likes filler? I don't like filler. Most people don't like filler, so that's a good move on them. Next is another very popular one. We've got volume 26 of My Hero Academia. Volume 25 was great, so I've been really looking forward to checking this volume out and seeing what happens next. It gets really hard. It's very tempting for me to just keep reading it on the app so that I can keep caught up with these things, but at the same time, I enjoy having a chunk of like 8 to 9 issues of material rather than reading it every week sometimes. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the next time I have a volume of My Hero, I'm going to be like, yeah, I went ahead and read it online instead. I read it on the Shonen Jump app. Here's another newer series. We got volume 2 of Moriarty the Patriot. This, of course, is based off of the Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes universe of stories, focusing on Sherlock Holmes's nemesis in James Moriarty. So the first volume was pretty decent. We're getting to know those characters as they exist in this manga's universe. I'm not 100% sold on it. I like to give a series 2 or 3 volumes to give it a chance, but I do like the illustrations and stuff. The artwork is very nice, so we'll see what happens with this series in volume 2 and see if it's good enough for me to want to pick up that 3rd volume whenever it does come out. And we've got another one that's coming close to its conclusion. This is Haikyuu with volume 42. I believe this one wraps up in 45 volumes, so we're pretty close on wrapping this one up in the US, which is really exciting. I'm a big fan of sports manga, and this is one where I've only read a small portion of it, so I'm excited to, as it gets close to its conclusion in physical volumes, hopefully get to just marathon through that whole thing at my own pace. And I know that people are referring to this as one of the GOATs as far as sports manga go, one of the greatest of all time. And if you know me, you know how much I love Slam Dunk. It's one of my absolute favorite manga of all time, so to hear people compare Haikyuu with that gives me really high expectations for that series as well. I did enjoy what I had read, so I already have high expectations that I've set up for myself through what I've read, and hopefully in the near future I'll be able to get caught up and finished with it as well, and I can talk about it more on the channel. Then we've got another series that's coming to its end pretty soon, volume 19 of Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer wraps up, I believe, with 22 volumes. So we just got a few more left to go. Unfortunately, Viz slowed down the releases, and instead of keeping that monthly release that everyone was really enjoying for a good amount of time, we're moving down to a bi-monthly. So every other month we'll get a volume of this until it concludes. I'm very excited. This one's always fun, lots of great action throughout, so I'm excited to see what happens next in that series. And we've got another current favorite, that is Spy Family Volume 3. This one has been selling like crazy. I know this one is sold out. The first couple volumes have sold out. I think the 3rd one is sold out as well. Just a fantastic, fun, kind of wholesome series about a family, as it suggests, of, you know, spies, spy, assassin, and all that kind of stuff. I highly recommend checking this one out if you're into more lighthearted, fun, action-type series. This one really is something special, in my opinion. I know a lot of people share that opinion with me. Another one of my favorites, this next one is volume, holy crap, 95 of One Piece. So we're, of course, the series celebrated its 1000th issue just a few weeks back. They just released issue 1002, so we're going to be hitting 100 volumes pretty soon, which is super exciting. I've been reading One Piece since I was like 13, so it's crazy to see, you know, this series grow with me, and it's really fun to get these new volumes and just have this ridiculously long series on the shelves with 95 volumes. But loving it as much now as I ever have. It's super exciting, and it is a perfect time to jump in to the series. I know that it's a daunting undertaking to read 1,000+ chapters of a series, but if you enjoy action and adventure, then this is definitely one of the best of the action and adventure manga that's out there, in my opinion, of all time. Next is another newer one that's super hot right now, and that's Chainsaw Man. This is something special. This is definitely going to be, I know that the anime is coming out pretty soon. This is going to be the next big thing as far as the anime goes. The manga has been selling out super fast, every single volume as it's come out. I know we only have volume 2 here right now. I think volume 3 just came out this week. I'm sure that one's going to sell out super fast as well. But it deserves all of the attention that it gets, in my opinion. I think this is a fantastic series and is going to be the next big shonen title. It's going to be one that people are going to remember for a while. And another thing, if you're into shorter titles, this one wraps up with like 11 volumes, so it's not that big of a commitment. I know they're doing a volume 2 or a series 2 at some point in the near future, but I wouldn't imagine it goes that much longer, as Fujimoto is more of a fan, it seems, of writing shorter titles, as his previous title, Fire Punch, was only 8 volumes worth of material. Next, we've got Dragon Ball Super Volume 11. We're still in the Moro arc, so we're moving forward with the characters fighting this new villain called Moro. This takes place after the Super anime, so this is an original story. No idea if they're going to eventually adapt it into an anime or into a movie, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this new villain that's appeared and the connections that he has to existing characters in the Dragon Ball universe. In my opinion, the Super anime was fun to watch as far as like fan service, I guess, goes, as far as like seeing these characters that you love and getting to see them get more powerful, stronger, and fighting different characters and seeing fan favorites like Frieza come back. But it was kind of disappointing in that over half of that series was tournament stuff. So it's really nice to see it move past that in the manga and into an arc that's not a tournament with a new villain that has connections back to the older stuff. Really exciting. I really love it so far, at least, and I'm hoping that I'll continue to enjoy it as it goes forward. Another big one right now, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 7. My Volume 0 is held up, I guess, in transit. I don't know. But that one has also come out since this one has come out, and I'm really loving this series, as are most people at the moment. I love the ideas here, the characters here, the illustrations here. It's all fantastic. I highly recommend it. I know the anime is doing really well right now, and a lot of people are getting into it because of that. And whenever the animes do well, of course, it leads towards great sales with the manga, and so that's exactly what's happening with this one. I think Volume 8 either just came out this week or is around the corner from coming out. So excited to read forward with this series. Now, we're done with the Shonen Jump stuff. I've got one Viz Media from the Shonen Sunday imprint, and that is another one of my current favorite ongoings, Comey Can't Communicate. This is just a great, wholesome comedy series. I talked about this one in my top 10 ongoing manga list video, so definitely check this one out if you like kind of slice of life comedy type stuff. This is definitely going to be one for you. We got one hardcover from Viz, and that is, I think, the only hardcover in this entire haul. Junji Ito's newest book, Remina. This is a fun sci-fi horror book. Basically, you're getting what you'd expect from Junji Ito with a nice kind of sci-fi twist to it. I really enjoyed this book. The ending is not my favorite ending of his. It's left kind of open-ended in a way that is reminiscent to when I was reading it, made me think about Drifting Classroom in the way that it ended. But nonetheless, if you're an Ito fan, this is definitely going to be one that you want to add to your shelf. And I know there's a couple of other Ito books already coming out in the near future. So just keep those coming, Viz, because I'm loving it, and I know a lot of people are loving it as well. Now we've got a triple threat here. 3 different Rumiko Takahashi books in one. We've got Volume 8 of Urusei Yatsura, the kind of sci-fi romantic comedy series. And then we've got the second volume of My Sonikoku, the straight romantic comedy series. And then we also have the first of 2 volumes of the new collector's editions printing of Mermaid Saga. So 3 awesome, big, beautiful looking Rumiko Takahashi books in my haul this time. Always exciting to get more Takahashi work. The focus they've been paying to her is really making me hope that they start doing more reprints of some of her less accessible works, as far as, you know, things that have been out of print for a while. So I'm just going to put this out in the universe because you got to put it out there for it to come true. I'm really hoping that Viz considers doing new editions for Rumik Theater and Rumik World. And even though I own it, maybe for a lot of people that don't, put out new printings for One Pound Gospel as well. Another of these nice thick ones, I've got the 10th volume of 20th Century Boys. This is one of my favorite concluded series by one of my favorite mangaka, Naoki Urasawa. Urasawa is a master of the craft, and I absolutely love this series. This is, like I said, volume 10 of 20th Century Boys. We have one more volume of 20th Century Boys, and then the single volume 21st Century Boys to come out in these perfect editions, and then we are done with that series. It's a good time to jump in and start reading this one as we're heading towards that conclusion with the new perfect edition printings. And I did a video on this as well recently. We've got Pokemon Adventures, the collector's edition 3-in-1 volume 5. So this wraps up the entire Gold, Silver, Crystal era, and then we get the first volume worth of material for the Ruby, Sapphire era. This is a ton of fun. If you're a Pokemon fan, you really owe it to yourself to read this if you haven't already. The manga is fantastic, great characters, great art, and it's really a nice different spin on the story. It adapts more the story of the video games than it does the anime, but it gives different weight to a lot of the characters that exist in this universe that the video games, I feel like, don't really give. Like, gym leaders play more of a role in the story than just being someone that you have to face to get to, you know, the Elite Four and stuff like that. So I really enjoy Pokemon Adventures. I've really been loving these collector's editions as well. All right, now we got a few more of his signature books here. Golden Comey Volume 19. This is another one of my favorite current ongoing series. Absolutely love it. This was a fantastic volume. A lot of things really ramping up in this series. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. It is one of my favorites. Every time a new volume comes out, it goes straight to the top of my stack as far as new reads go. And then we've got one I actually just read last night, is Dead Dead Demons DDDD Destruction Volume 9. This was a really heavy volume as far as the contents go. A lot of stuff happens in here, a lot of big things happening in this series, and I know I had read recently in an article that this was heading towards its conclusion, so should be seeing the series wrap up not too far from now. If you're a fan of Inio Asano, he's another one of my favorite creators. Goodnight Pun Pun is one of my absolute favorite series, so I definitely recommend this as well. Another one of my favorite ongoing titles, we have a really good bunch of books in this haul. Beastars Volume 10. I absolutely love this series. Every volume is just absolute hit for me. Volume 9 in particular was just out of this world, and this one kind of tones it down a little bit from everything that we got in Volume 9, but it's still a fantastic volume with a lot of great stuff that happened in here, and we are officially at the halfway point in the Western release of the series, as this series did end with Volume 20. So I'm excited to... I wish they would hurry up the release, honestly, since it's already done in Japan, but they're already doing it every other month, so I mean, whatever. We'll wait another, what, year and a half for it to be done? It's good. I can wait another year and a half. And we got another Naoki Urasawa book. This is the first volume of his newest ongoing series, Asadora. I read this one last night as well. This is a really great inaugural volume, and it feels like something I'm really going to love. I really did enjoy the first volume, but knowing Urasawa's work, I know that he really expands on his stuff, and it's really by the second volume, third volume, and stuff like that, that you really get that footing in what he's going for. There's a lot of really fun and exciting things that were teased in this volume that I don't want to make any spoilers, but if you know me, then it's something that I would really wind up enjoying. I don't know, I don't want to give any spoilers or anything but for anyone that hasn't read it yet, but I'm super excited for the next volume. I'm just going to say that. And one more book, and that is Levios Est Volume 7. I just found out last night this actually wraps up in 10 volumes, so we're getting pretty close to the conclusion of this fun martial arts steampunk series. This was a really fast, action-packed volume, but as always, the artwork is just amazing in this series, and that's the main draw for that series for me. So yeah, if you are into MMA and stuff like that, it is a good series for that kind of action. A lot of drama in this volume as well. Just all around a pretty exciting volume of that series. Anyway, so that's it. That's everything from like the past 2 months. So a lot of cool stuff in there. Let me know what you guys have been picking up, what you guys have been reading. I've got some reading to do tonight so I can get caught up with all these new releases before anything else from February starts hitting. Very excited about getting caught up with all that stuff. There's a lot of good books here. So anyway, let me know what you've been hauling, what you've been reading. Sound off down below, and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Check out the links to other videos I'm going to put in the description down below if you haven't seen some of the videos I was talking about in this one. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.